One of the most important questions when you first get into Sublimation is, what type of printer do I need? This is by far the most common question I see on Facebook forums and other YouTube comments. Because it's such an important question, I usually make one of these videos every 6 months or so, mainly just to keep fresh data and get you the most relevant information about the newest printers. The difference on this video is I'm going all out with new data. This is going to be more detailed, better, cleaner, new flowcharts, new diagrams, and all that good stuff. The goal of this video is to link you to the perfect sublimation printer specifically catered for your needs, and we're going to start right now. Hi, I'm Jeff with Southpaw's Studio, and we'll be using this fancy flowchart that I made just for this particular project. It's powered by all this fancy Excel data, and overall, I feel like I did a pretty good job on it. Basically, you answer this series of questions, and it'll lead you right to the perfect printer, just specifically catered for your needs, and it's perfect. The first question I ask is, what size will I be printing? If you only need to print 8.5 by 11 or 8.5 by 14 for like tumblers, glass cups, small t-shirts, etc., then you have quite a few options. Both Sawgrass and Epson have printers that will cover your needs. The next question is, are you okay with some tinkering to get it to work, such as profiles, ink conversions, things like that? If the answer is yes, it's just a matter of how much budget you want to go with, whether you go with a workforce printer or a more ready EcoTank printer. If you're on an ultra budget and don't mind converting the printer, the Epson Workforce 2830 or 2860 can be a good fit and can be had at as low as $84.99. You'll need to add refillable cartridges. Overall, with all that, the printer will be right at $110 plus ink. However, if you have a little more to spend, the $199 Epson EcoTank 2800 or 2803, depending on which version you get, is a very solid solution. It's a little more ready to go. You don't have to do the cartridge conversion. You just literally dump the ink in and go. It's really that simple. That's a great way to go. Keep in mind, while both of these units are very easy to convert, you may still run into issues with color management. The internet's a really good resource, as well as a lot of videos on this channel, but I don't want you to think the budget route is the same as a solid turnkey printer. Speaking of turnkey printers, if you don't feel like tinkering, there's also an option for you. Epson offers the F170 sublimation printer for $399.99, and it includes everything you need to get started, including genuine Epson ink and even a warranty, which is unlike some of those other printers that you get that technically you're avoiding the warranty when you put sublimation ink in. This is not the case with the F170. Next up on the plate, if you want something that offers a higher level of support and assistance, the Sawgrass SG500 is a great addition. It uses a proprietary ink system that only Sawgrass offers. When you buy Sawgrass, there's even a training session included to help you make the most of your printer. This includes setup, installation, driver configuration, color management, and the whole 9 yards. Everything you need to get started, they'll assist you with it. It's also the most expensive option at $599.99. But if you want a true workhorse of a printer that will that's always going to work and you have support when it doesn't, the Sawgrass is your option. Okay, now that we've covered the 8.5 inch wide printers, we can move on to 11 by 17 printers. Once again, if you're okay with doing some tinkering, it's hard to beat the Epson ET15000. While it will print up to 13 by 19, it's worth picking up even if you never use the full size 13 by 19. In the event you cannot find the Epson printer at the usual price, there's always the ET8550 that's available for just $100 more. The main difference is that it's 6 color instead of the 4 color, so it requires additional ink that costs a little extra. And overall, I mean, it's a little extra starting up, but it's really not that big a deal. Keep in mind that both of these printers will still require you to buy sublimation ink to replace the stock Epson ink, and you're also avoiding the warranty by doing so, which on a $600 or $700 printer can be kind of sketchy. Also, please do not get the Epson ET8550 confused with the ET8500. Even though the numbers are very similar, the 8500 is a terribly expensive EcoTank printer that looks similar, but it only does 8.5 inches wide, which is a major bummer. Now, on the 11 by 17, if you're looking for a turnkey solution, Sawgrass once again has you covered with the SG1000 printers. They're priced at $14.99 and include the same level of support and customer care as the SG500. It's a dedicated sublimation printer that comes ready to print, complete with sublimation ink. Next up are our 13x19 printers. This is technically the same story as the 11x17, with our top recommendations being the Epson ET15000 and the Epson ET8550 if you can't find that. Or, if you were looking for a turnkey solution, the Sawgrass SG1000 printer. The noteworthy takeaway here is, in order to print actual 13x19 on the Sawgrass SG1000 printer, you're going to need the bypass tray that was originally made for the SG800, which is pretty pricey at an additional $214 or so. This brings the ability to print 13x19 or even 13-inch wide roll paper with your SG1000 and puts the price up around $1,700 or so. Now, here's where we start to get big. Depending on how big you want to go, the Epson F570 does 24-inch wide rolls for just $2,499. If 24-inch printing is for you, this is the go-to unit. Even if you do bulk sublimation production, this still makes sense. Yes, at $2,500 it's steep, but this printer will do everything you've ever wanted and comes with turnkey sublimation ink from Epson. And the price really isn't that much higher than a fully loaded SG1000 printer, and you're getting a 24-inch roll printer. It's worth mentioning that this one does come with a warranty and overall is a workhorse of a beast. Alright, let's say you've outgrown your 24-inch printer. Now it's on to the big boys. If you need something that large, I would suggest doing your research. But if I was to pick a printer, I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Mimaki printers. The TS100 will do pretty much everything you want out of a 54-inch printer, and it's a pretty decent value at $9,995. You're getting a capable 54-inch roll printer, Mimaki's RIP software to help you batch the jobs and get the most of your media, and overall it's a quality printer that will serve your business for years to come. Now, you may notice a typical suspect missing, which are the Epson WF-2710 and 7720 printers, which I've recommended in every single video up until this point. A few years ago, it was the cheapest and easiest sublimation printers to get into. Heck, I still use one today. Once upon a time, you could buy a 7710 or 7720 for under $200, convert it to sublimation, install chipless firmware, and be printing 13x19 for under $300. But those days are long gone. Unless you happen to find one, they're few and far between, which is why I can no longer recommend them. Hopefully this video will ease the anxiety of finding a sublimation printer and give you some solid guidance. If you found this video helpful, feel free to give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe for more crafting and sublimation content. Again, this is Jeff with Southpaw Studios. Peace, guys.